I'm your book lover, Jigmanti, and in this episode, I'm going to do a review about the 13th chapter in Sorcerer's Stone, the first part of Harry Potter, written by J.K. Rowling. The name of this chapter is Nicolas Flamel, and in the last chapter, Harry was going up to his dormitory and wondering whether the question he asked Dumbledore is very personal. Back to the video. Quidditch season was still there, and Harry and Ron still had to endure Hermione's disappointment that they still did not find at least who Nicolas Flamel was. Word was making them, the Gryffindor team, including Harry, training harder than ever because they had a new upcoming match, Gryffindor versus Hufflepuff. But the big news was that Snape was refereeing the match. And that's why Wood was so angry for the Weasley twins dive bombing each other in the practice. That's the exact thing Snape would use to his advantage to take points off Gryffindor, yelled Wood. And George Weasley literally fell off his broom at this word. When Harry told Ron and Hermione that Snape was refereeing the match, Hermione and Ron immediately had suggestions for Harry to not play for the match, knowing that in the last match they had seen and had evidence that Snape was trying to jinx Harry's broom to make him fall off. But Harry still wanted to play because there was no reverse seeker, and if he backed out, then Gryffindor was not able to play. Immediately when Harry said these words, the Gryffindor common room portrait sprang open and Neville started hopping over to them. It seemed as though his legs were connected together by the leg locker curse, so it was very hard for Neville to walk now. How he managed to hop all the way from one place all the way to Griffin Tower was the question. But as soon as Hermione did the counter curse for it, Neville explained how he was at the library and Malfoy came, said he needed someone to practice a jinx on, and he did the leg locker curse on Neville. Hermione urged him to tell a teacher, but Neville decided he did not want any more trouble. Neville said to Ron, "You don't need to tell me I'm not brave enough to go to Gryffindor. Malfoy's already done that," he choked out. Harry reached in his pocket and gave out the last remaining chocolate frog of it to Neville and said, "You are worth 12 times than Malfoy. Where did the Sorting Hat put you? In Gryffindor. And where was Malfoy? Stinking Slytherin." Neville gave a weak smile and said, "Thanks, Harry. You can collect the card if you want. It's really fun." And as Neville gave the card, Harry read it. "I found him," said Harry. "I found Nicolas Flamel. See this. Dumbledore is particularly famous for his defeat of the Dark Wizard Grindelwald in 1945, for the discovery of the 12 uses of dragon blood, and his work on alchemy with his partner Nicolas Flamel." "Wow," said Hermione. "I didn't know that." And then she suddenly jumped on her feet. I just remembered. She hasn't looked so excited ever since they got their first marks on their homework. "Stay here," she said, and sprinted off to Gryffindor girls' dormitory. Harry and Ron barely had any time to give each other mystified looks before Hermione came clambering from the portrait, holding a heavy book that was with her. "I borrowed this for some light reading." "Light?" said Ron, but Hermione ignored Ron and said, opened the book and said, "The ancient study of alchemy is concerned with making the Sorcerer's Stone, a legendary substance with astonishing powers. The stone will transform any metal into pure gold. It also produces elixir of life, which will make the drinker immortal. There have been many reports on the Sorcerer's Stone over the centuries, but the stone currently in existence belongs to Mr. Nicolas Flamel, the noted alchemist and opera lover. Mr. Flamel, who celebrated his 665th birthday last year, enjoyed a quiet life Devon with his wife, currently 658. You see, Hermione said. Nicolas Flamel must have told Dumbledore to take the Sorcerer's Stone out of Gringotts. Anybody would want pure gold reaching from just a stone and want to be immortal. Blimey, you're right, said Harry. No wonder Snape's after it. Anybody would want it. The next day, Harry and Ron kept on talking about what they would do if they had a Sorcerer's Stone. When Ron finally mentioned that he would buy his own Quidditch team, Harry suddenly realized about the upcoming match. I'm gonna play, said Harry. It will really wipe the smiles off those Slytherins' faces. Not if we're wiping you off the field, said Hermione. When it was time for the match, Harry was relieved because Dumbledore was watching. Snape couldn't hurt Harry in front of Dumbledore. So everything went on fine until when the match started, someone poked Ron hard in the head. Oh, sorry, Weasley. It was the voice of Draco Malfoy. Ron did not speak. Snape had awarded a penalty for Hufflepuff because George Weasley beat a bludger over to him. Well, anyone want to bet about how long Potter's going to stay on his broom? How about you, Weasley? Ron was shaking a little with rage. Wait, you know what? Malfoy thinks. I think the people on Gryffindor Quidditch team are only the people who the heads of the houses feel sorry for. There's Potter, who's got no parents. There's the Weasleys, who have no money. You should be on the team, Longbottom. You have no brains. Navali flushed a shade of pink. I'm 12 times braver than you, Malfoy. Crab and Goyle, Malfoy's goon, and Malfoy roared the ladder. Ooh, the Weasleys, he said, the poorest of the all. Ron took out and brandished his wand. One more word, Malfoy, he said dangerously. One more word. Hermione was cheering. Somehow, Harry had seen the snitch and was diving to get it. Ooh, pretty much you're in luck, Weasley, because Potter obviously spotted some money on the ground. Ron snapped, and before Malfoy knew what was going to happen, Ron was on top of Malfoy, wrestling him down to the ground. The Violet hesitated for a moment before clambering on the back of his own seat to help Ron. After 1 minute, Harry was flying into the air, holding the snitch in his hand, triumphant. We did it! All the Gryffindors were cheering, and they kept on hugging people next to them. When Madame Hooch announced that the Gryffindor had won, it was a very big, happy blur for Harry. Gryffindors pouring out of the stadium, and were lifting Harry up because now Gryffindor was in the lead from winning the House Cup. Hermione and Ron were cheering for Harry, though Ron was still in the heavy nosebleed. Yahoo, Harry! Me and Navali gave Malfoy a black eye, and you even won the Quidditch match today. How can things be any better? Navali's still knocked out, but Madame Pomfrey says he'll be all right. As Harry cheering was still going on, he spotted a figure in a heavy dark cloak, which was extremely black. Harry noticed this as the prowling of Severus Snape, and he decided to follow once all the teachers in Gryffindor was gone. And when everybody was gone, he took off his Nimbus 2000, silently following Snape up in the air. As Snape proceeded, Harry ended up going into the Forbidden Forest because that's where Snape was going. However, an owl almost knocked him off his broom as it flowed past, Harry managed to see Quirrell stuttering worse than ever in front of Snape. I didn't know why you wanted to meet here, Severus, said Quirrell, stuttering. I wanted to do it in private, said Snape, cold, sharp voice. You know, students are not allowed to know about the Sorcerer's Stone. Quirrell stuttered even more badly. I want you to do your hocus pocus, said Snape. You know, whatever your magic you have to do to get through the chamber. I don't know what you're talking about, Severus, he said. Very well, said Snape. We'll have another chat today, and then you'll probably figure out where your loyalty lies. And Snape drifted away from the forest. Harry quickly mounted and quickly flied over to the Gryffindor dormitory, ran up to Gryffindor Tower, and said to Hermione and Ron what he heard. So the Sorcerer's Stone is protected as long as Quirrell stands up to him, said Hermione. It'll be gone by next Tuesday, said Ron. Bye! I hope you liked this video. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and type in comments below. Also, don't miss my next video, review about the 14th chapter of Sorcerer's Stone. Bye!